This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Police Federation calls for a life sentence for resisting arrest. Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Corporal Rohan James, is calling for a life sentence to be imposed on persons found guilty of confronting members of the force while they are making arrest. Corporal James says there has been an increase in the number of cases of persons resisting arrest on the urging of bystanders calling for violence against the arresting officers. He believes that a life sentence will deter persons from assaulting police officers in the execution of their duties and send a strong signal that law enforcement is to be taken seriously. According to Corporal James, the police act as a buffer between law-abiding citizens and those who decide to break the law and to create mayhem in the country. These lawbreakers, he said, cannot continue to be treated with kids' gloves while the level of crime and violence gets from bad to worse.
We must send the strongest signal in this country that law enforcement in this country means a lot. It is a buffer between those who decide that they are going to break the law and cause our society to be in mayhem and for us not to be achieving our full potential as a nation. And we cannot continue to be using kids' gloves to treat with situation where it continues to get from bad to worse. We have to treat with it head on. And that is why it requires our Prime Minister to get real tough and to even emulate aspects of the Singapore Prime Minister utterances. You have to lead with that iron fist.
But Director of Jamaicans for Justice, John Clark, has said a life sentence for such an offense would be too extreme. Mr. Clark, who is also a defense attorney, said police officers need to be equipped with skills to de-escalate conflicts and should make a greater use of body-worn cameras.
From a DCP grant, herself also believe that there may be a need for more trained officers in relation to how to de-escalate scenarios, how to interact with the public. And in some scenarios, all members of the public are asking, illegal arrest or resisting arrest is, why am I being arrested? And there seems to be a policy which is not backed by the JCF for some officers not to tell you the reason for your arrest until you're at the station. And I believe that that policy or that course of conduct may be based on a fact that they would want to go to the station, speak to superior officers, determine what they want to charge you for, but they want to arrest you immediately without telling you the reason for the arrest. In many videos, you'll see citizens say, well, you're arrested for officer, what am I doing wrong, what am I doing wrong? And the non-answer to that may somehow cause a citizen to react a certain way. The law is that if the police is doing a lawful arrest, then the citizen must comply with the lawful arrest. But if the police is doing an unlawful arrest, there's no duty on a citizen to comply to unlawful arrest. In fact, just recently, the Court of Appeal had a decision, I believe it was Shaquille Ashley, which came out very recently. The Court of Appeal made it clear that the citizen have no duty to adhere to unlawful execution of duty. It's only the lawful execution of duty that the citizens have a duty to adhere to. We actually do conduct community workshops, and I'm sure that we conduct way more community workshops than the DPP's office has ever done in relation to rights of inner city citizens, human rights, how the engagement of police, and we also have a radio program in which we also discuss these issues. But what I am concerned about is not necessarily the call for the education of the public. I'm concerned about the discussions about police getting baskets to carry water and about these videos being interpreted in such a light that it is the citizens who are the problem and the citizens who need education and not the police themselves, because from that engagement, from that video, one would say that there are teachable moments for both sides. And when the DPP, who is the arbiter of fairness when it comes to charging a police officer, is only speaking about the actions of one side, that is the only cause of concern for us. On the face, but bias can also be implicit. So therefore it can be that by virtue of the working relationship and by virtue of the comment about basket to carry water, that she give them an unduly favorable review in certain scenarios that perhaps should best be dealt with by the court. So one recalls, for example, many of the debates between her and Indicom. One recalls also the comments that were made about the recent young lady, I believe in Clarendon. And then one have to ask the question, is the DPP an independent and impartial authority in relation to decisions involving police when she has publicly said that the police get a basket to carry water?
Tropical storm watch is still in effect for Jamaica. Jamaica remains under a tropical storm watch as Tropical Storm Lisa continues to affect the southern coastal areas of the island. Sections of the southern coast continue to experience rainfall associated with Lisa. Richard Thompson, the Acting Director General of the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, said the system remains within territorial waters.
The last bulletin information had it at 260 kilometers southwest of Rocky Point, Clarendon. So that's and it's still moving on its westerly track and moving away from the island at present. But given that it is still within our territorial waters, then the country is still under tropical storm watch at present. The entire disaster risk management apparatus is on standby. And that has been so from yesterday. We have been having the discussion with the Met Office, and from those discussions that the Met Office would have been having with the National Hurricane Center.
British man charged for rape at hotel. A British national has been charged with rape after he trailed a woman into her hotel room and had sexual intercourse with her against her will at a hotel in Hanover on Tuesday, October 25, the police are reporting. He is Dewey Games, 29, an electrician from South Wales in the United Kingdom. Reports from the Lucy police are that at 8 p.m., the woman was at the main pool of the hotel when she asked Games and his wife to lend her a charger. Games offered to assist but insisted on carrying it to her hotel room. Upon reaching the room, the suspect said he wanted coffee. Games then allegedly pushed the suspect face down on the bed and had sexual intercourse with her against her will. A report was made and the police were alerted. On Friday, October 28, the suspect was positively identified on an identification parade and subsequently charged. His arraignment is scheduled for the Lucy Parish Court on Wednesday, November 2. Children 12 years and younger to access free care at UHWI. The Health Ministry announced this Sunday night that effective immediately, parents of children 12 years and younger can access free medical care at the University of the West Indies. This arrangement is in response to the increase in viral illnesses and resulting overcrowding at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, which is usually seen this time of year, the ministry said in a release. Children and the elderly are among the most vulnerable groups, especially at this time as the flu and the gastroenteritis season intensifies. Jamaicans are reminded to only take a paracetamol and to visit the nearest health center if symptoms do not improve, the release said. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.